How you doing?
Good, we're very well.
Where are you from?
Lithuania. Poland.
Jesteś
Polka.
Polka?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Have a lovely day.
You too, bye-bye. Today we're talking about Polish and Latin cultural differences part 2. Różnice kulturowe między Polska a Ameryka Południowa, część druga. Cześć ludzie! What's up people? Hola Vigos, Dad here. Welcome to another episode. Today we're covering part 2 of a subject that you guys seem to be interested in, which is differences between Latin America and Poland. Of course, this is going to be a little bit more focused on Dominican Republic, but I think that it applies quite well to most Latin countries. We're kind of similar like that. For the longest time, I've been meaning to do this part 2, but you have a bunch of topics that we want to cover, so at some point we're gonna get around to doing part 2s of things that still need more coverage. With that said, let's get started. Number 1, Latinos are loud, but Polish people speak on top of each other. It's a well-known fact that Latinos are loud. We speak loud, we do most of the things loud. The volume of our voices are 100% connected with our moods. Dime Julio, ¿cómo tú estás? Ya tú ves, papá, aquí pasándola, imagínate. No está fácil la cosa, ¿no? ¡Julio! ¡Dime, Julio! ¡Vaya! Ya estoy adelante, papá! ¡Nítido! And you know what they say about Latinos? We are almost never sad, so that means that we're almost always loud. And I gotta give it to you guys, it can be a little bit too much sometimes. When we go on holidays back to Dominican Republic, the music blasting on one side, the honks on the other side, it's like sometimes it can get a little bit too much. For sure, we are loud cultures. At the end of the day, we believe that we're happy, and sometimes one thing, creates a little bit of balance. But something very interesting that happens that you would not expect from a culture that is loud and is all the time, going, is that when we are speaking, especially in a group of people, we take turns. We are able to develop ideas. The rest of the group sits, listens to that person that is, developing the idea, saying what they want to say, and then when they are done, the other person takes a turn and they speak, which it's not something I can say for Polish culture. Muy bosh. 4 people speaking all at the same time on top of each other, and they understand what they're saying. Yes. And you know what? I'm gonna let you in a little secret. Most of the times, if Carolina and I are having an argument, it's gonna be related to this. She says that I give speeches, I say that she interrupts me every 3 words, she forgets her idea by the time I'm done with my lecture. In the end, it's just a big cultural difference. And you know what? It's beautiful. 2. Nie mamy Wielkanoc. Latinos don't celebrate Easter. Well, that's not 100% true. Dominican Republic being a mostly Catholic country, we do celebrate Easter, of course, but not like Poland. Poland has a tradition that I've never seen anywhere else. People get dressed nicely. There's a table full of food from here to Gibraltar with a lot of delicious Polish food being served. You can have some alcoholic beverage since early morning. At around 10 a.m., dziadki come, knock on the door. Dzień dobry, dziadek. Dzień dobry, babciu. And then you spend the whole day eating and drinking and talking and hanging out with family. It's beautiful. In Dominican Republic, we have habichuelas con dulce. There's not a tradition like Poland to get together the whole family and cook a lot of food and spend a good day together. Mostly depends on the Latin country, but most of them have, of course, their pilgrimages and their fasting. In some countries, for example, Dominican Republic, you don't eat any meat during that week or something like that. But most of the time, you just make something traditional, habichuelas con dulce, which is sweet red beans. And always that weekend of Easter is, free to go to the beach and hang out with your friends. Well, I always forget this part, but all the big channels helping YouTubers grow, they say that at this moment I should invite you guys to watch another of my videos. So in this case, I'm going to invite you to see the part 1, which you can click somewhere here on the card. Huh? You want to be? Are you sure? Gotta love people. People are so nice. I always want to be on the channel. Number 3, let's talk about formality. There seems to exist a strong juxtaposition between these two cultures when it comes to the concept of formality. And for practical purposes, we're going to stick to the Dominican Republic, even though I'm sure it's going to apply pretty similar to most of Latin countries. On the one hand, you have the ultra formal and conservativeness of the workforce of Latin America, where the dress code is very, very formal, and you get judged pretty harshly whether you're wearing the right clothing or not. For example, suits, button-up shirts, stuff like that. In some cases, we're not even talking about whether it's casual or formal. Sometimes it's even the quality of your clothes. If your suit looks cheap or not, that can have a very big effect on how people treat you. In Poland, it seems to be a lot more relaxed. I'm sure that at higher levels of politics and business, you're expected to have a certain dress code, but for the most part at jobs and stuff like that, it seems like you can go by with more casual or smart casual dress code. And for sure, you're not getting judged as harshly as you're getting in Latin America. But now, let's discuss another side of formality where the roles switch drastically. Human interaction. Polish people are serious, respectful, not too forward, and overall polite and a little restrained. Very seldom they will ask impertinent questions or even let their bodies relax to a point that it can make someone else uncomfortable. But Latinos, we can be too forward, ask a lot of questions, sometimes even get too deep into your personal life. But it's not done in a gossipy way. It's just a culture, it's just the way we are. We ask questions and we think that we are being nice and that we are showing interest in you by doing that. Little do we know that to many cultures, this is a little bit improper. Even the way that we carry ourselves. Sometimes, we sit down or we touch people in weird ways that they might feel uncomfortable, but it's part of our culture. It is what it is. And it's incredibly interesting to me how Polish people and Latinos are basically the same, just in opposite spectrums, which is the reason why we make such great couples. But that's a topic I'm gonna touch in another episode. Yes. What's up, guys?
Yo!
What's
YouTube video.
your name? What's your name?
Abdi.
See?
Mahim.
Okay.
All right. It's your birthday. Hey man, happy birthday. So you guys are okay being on the vlog?
Yeah.
Cheers. All right.
Have a good day.
Let's talk about hospitality. The concept of hospitality between Polish culture and Latin culture is very, very different. And I will explain. In Poland, it's very formal. When people come over to your house, you need to have a certain amount of things that are a must. You need to have some ciasto, you need to have some herbata, you need to have some food to give them. It's part of the whole culture, and it actually will determine how educated you are, and, the way you treat your guests. As a funny anecdote, I remember going over to, a relative's house, and she had prepared cake. It had some sort of fruit that I didn't like, and I remember that I had to eat it because, what she did for us when we visited her was so big that it would have been very rude if I wouldn't have had it. But in Dominican culture, it's a whole different game. We show that we care by, letting you choose. You're gonna choose what you wanna drink, you're gonna choose what you wanna eat. I'm not gonna have something pre-prepared so that, you feel forced somehow, some way to eat what I prepared. What do you want? You wanna eat something? Let's order something. Or you want me to make you something? I will make you whatever you want. That is a very big difference. So we found a great in-between when we started, having friends come over to the house. Well, let's face it, I live with a Polish wife, so most of the time we have cake for you. Yeah. Of course. Where are you guys from?
From Sweden.
From Sweden?
Yes.
What's up? I've got two buddies from Sweden here. What's your name?
Svante. CH.
Hey, great, man. I'm JT. This is my vlog. It's called Vigo's Dad.
Yes. Subscribe.
Yeah,
You
subscribe
should.
and like.
Hey, man. Check those guys out. They're having fun here today.
Yes.
Take care, man. Number 5, and last cultural difference. Polish people live by history. Latin seem to have forgotten history. And what do I mean by this? When I started visiting Poland and I started interacting more and more with Polish people, one of the things that surprised me the most was the high level of knowledge that they seem to have of their own history. Be it political history or cultural history, it's like they know the names of historical events, the factual, obscure names of, random foods and where they come from. This understanding of history leads to very interesting things, especially the way Polish people interact with other cultures. For example, the Germans. Polish people share a border, I'm sure. Plenty of Germans visit Poland, plenty of Polish people visit Germany. They actually share many cultural things, even in personality. But then, the Germans. They had it easy. They are arrogant. Who do they think they are? Maybe there's not, 100% trust in that relationship. And a very big disclaimer, this is a big generalization. I'm sure there are plenty of Polish people that get along perfectly fine with Germans, but based on my interactions, it seems that history still has a very big way, when it comes to the relationship between these two countries. And I think that what plays a very big role on this is how much Polish people are connected to their history, how much they remember their ancestors, the things that they went through. Polish people haven't forgotten many of those things. They haven't moved on. Latinos are a little bit less attached to our own history. It doesn't permeate our everyday lives as much as I see happening with Polish people. And one of the reasons for this, in my opinion, is because Latin people feel like we are all brothers. It doesn't matter if you are Peruvian or Dominican or Colombian. We share this race, the Latin race. A lot of our history is kind of similar. We share that brotherhood. And the fact that we all share the same language, we are all kind of like in an even playing field when it comes to development, when it comes to political situations. And Latinos know the things that are written in the history books, but it doesn't get discussed as much as I've seen it happen in Poland. And to be frank with you, that is not always a good thing, because to quote Jorge Santayana, those who do not know their history are doomed to repeat it. Boom! That's all, guys. That's the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I love making these cultural differences videos. I have a big list of things, but of course I have to keep this trimmed so you guys watch the whole thing. It actually really helps when you watch the whole video. Before we go, I have two links down here, two boxes. On the right, I have a playlist of Poland and all the videos that I've made regarding Poland. So if you are interested in that, click here. And right here on my left, YouTube has giving you whatever they think is the video that fits the most for you right now. So I don't know what it is. It's different for everyone. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching and see you next week.